now we're at the time where the Hamashiach is getting ready to come.
And hidden riches of secret places, that thou mayest know that I am the Lord.
Last words, brother.
Shalom, ma.
All right.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. All right. Shabbat shalom, new moon, Yasharel.
All right. Happy new moon, Israel. Happy new moon.
Welcome everybody's back. having a blessed feast. Feast of our Mashiach, the new moon celebration, which is a Shabbat feast. It is our birthright, and all praises to the Most High. So, I welcome everybody on here. I know some of the brews are still kind of trickling in, so I'll give you a few more seconds here. Welcome everyone. All right, yeah, happy new moon. Yes, sir. Got the always got the faithful ones on here.
That's right. All praises.
Sean Singleton, Tina Thornton, Adam Jr., Dale Blackwood, Ryan McClendon, chosen by Yah. Y'all. All right, welcome all of y'all. Keep spreading this message. So we're gonna fellowship. We got some scriptures we're gonna lay down. A few things we're gonna lay down, but the title is Chasing the Wicked Ways of the Heathens. And probably already know where we're going with that one. They just had all our people were, well, I'm not going to say all our people, but majority of social media was going crazy over this whole eclipse thing. And the only reason why I knew about it is because people keep emailing me like, hey man, what do you think about this eclipse? What do you think is going to happen? I'm like, first of all, open the Torah, read the Torah, and keep the commandments. You're not going to find one verse in the scriptures where our people were chasing some eclipse. You know what I'm saying? You probably had like thousands of heathens sitting on the side of the road somewhere, chasing some eclipse. But they've always been doing this. So let me just read something from Jeremiah 10, and I'm going to start. But verse 1, it says, hear ye the word which Yahuah speaks unto you, O house of Yasharel. Thus says Yahuah, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. In other words, they go crazy over this stuff. And if you notice that, like, I don't too much care about social media that much, and I know some of you don't either. But sometimes you get some stuff in your feed, and then you happen to come across that. And I noticed something that somebody sent me. People predicting the destruction was going to happen shortly after, and I mean, people were just going crazy, man. So I guess it's going to be the next 20 years before the next eclipse. So I'm kind of glad that BS is over with. So now niggas got to wait like 20 more years before some more BS. But they're going to always come up with something else, though. Yeah.
Just a little understanding when it comes to the calendar, right? I want you to today marks the first day of spring, right?
Yep.
First day of spring, which is the new moon for today. The new moon that we go off of is the new moon according to Jerusalem, right? Yep. So whatever the new moon is in Jerusalem, that's the one that we have on the calendar. That way it's universal for all. So certain people aren't, keeping the new moon days on different days, right? So everybody is keeping it according to the Holy Land, right? Jerusalem. Okay. Mm-hmm. So because we do know that the way that that the moon moves and the way that the sun moves, that, some places might experience earlier days than others as far as the new moon is concerned. But just to keep it uniform, we put it on the calendar of the new moon of Jerusalem.
Right. And also, if you look at the bottom of the calendar where it says notes, it's important to really read that. Let me see if I can blow this up a little bit so you all can see that. So if you look down at the bottom where it says notes, the Hebrew Israelite months are numbered in the following order, starting with the equinox in Abib, 130, 230, 331. So if you notice, it's in quarters. All right, because that is the original way that our forefathers read their calendar. So that way, everything was just evenly across the board. Everything is always fixed And then you have the references in Enoch to also read, and you'll see how the sun, the moon, the constellation all works in unison to bring us the feast days. And one good thing about this calendar is that me and Brother Aton spent a lot of time in research, and I mean we did like years and years out constantly. This is our 5th calendar with you all, our 5th year doing this calendar. All praise to the Most High. And when we go back and continue to research it, it's just it really falls perfectly in line, and it resets itself anywhere from 5 to 6 years. All right, it's going to always reset itself. So that way, when the equinox comes, a certain amount of years, bam, it's always back on the same. So on a Gregorian date, it just don't keep going backwards. All right, and when you study Enoch, when you study Jasher, you'll see the rotation of the sun. You'll see how the moon and the sun are the same size, and you'll see how the sun and the moon set in the same gate. All right. Now, with that being said, now the heathens were saying that this eclipse was supposed to create an X. Now, when you read and understand how the constellations and how the sun and the moon sets in the same gates, how is that possible for it to create an X? You see what I'm saying? And like if you were to draw circles and you were to slightly offset it a little bit, it still wouldn't come close to creating an X like that, like the heathens say it is, So a lot of times they just like to make up stuff, propaganda and all kinds of junk. But all you got to do is just study the scriptures, Israel. It's going to always be your number one and your best answers to everything in the scriptures and dealing with the Most High's luminaries.
All right, God. Let me see.
Oh, one thing I wanted to bring out too. I wanted to bring out another scripture right quick before you bring out something. So we read Jeremiah 10:2. And this one y'all should know by heart. All right. What does that say? Envy not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. All right. And when he's talking about chasing the wicked ways of the heathens, we're not just talking about, people just following eclipse, but we're talking about the holidays, all that stuff, everything that the heathens celebrate. Our people are right behind them, celebrating the same stuff, man. In fact, a lot of times they're outdoing the heathens, which is ridiculous. And I should have pulled up the stats, man. But last year, Israel, you know how much money they spent, man, for just between November and January, almost like a little bit over $1 trillion, something like 1 trillion something dollars. That's crazy, y'all. I mean, we only make up less than 13% of the U.S. population, but we're spending more. But ignorance is bliss, and that's what happens when you don't understand the commandments, when you don't keep the commandments. And when the scripture says that our people are destroyed, I mean, stiff-necked, it had us in mind. And again, until we get back, this is why the calendar is so important for our people. Because, man, this thing is a super guide. It really is. And I know we've been in our 5th year, but when you really take the time to study the precepts, like most of you've done already, and you really analyze the calendar, man, it's going to become easier and easier the more you practice the righteous acts. I mean, it's going to be like second nature. It's going to be like breathing. like seriously, like when the holidays come around, it's like I don't even subscribe. That it doesn't even cross in my mind that the holidays are coming around, because I'm so engrafted in the Most High's laws. And we have our we got just 7. I'm just gonna run through the calendar right quick, brother, if you don't mind. Man, we got 12 months, and each month we have a new moon. Every 7th day we have a Shabbat. All right, And in between, we got our feast days. The next feast day is going to be Pentecost. All right. And in between that, there's no more feast days until the 7th month. But we do have our new moons between that and our weekly Shabbats. I mean, it's beautiful. And the good thing about this calendar, and the reason why we try to put it out a little earlier, so that way you can submit this to your supervisors or your bosses, so that way you can make sure that this is your blueprint of our heritage. The days that you need off, well, especially I should say the feast, the Shabbat feast days are the ones you really have to take off on. All right. So use it as a study guide. Use it as your what you call it, Title 10, something like that, and a part of the religious freedom. Because they can't make you, that's against the law for them to make you work on your holy days. You can fight for that. They may try to bend you over on that and try to get over on you, but yeah, you got to understand your rights and everything too. So, and that's what the calendar is for, so that the brews can have something to take into their bosses. So, let me go back up there. So that's pretty much it on the calendar, y'all. I mean, every month we got a new moon. It's going to always be different, set on different days, depending on what it is. Like, let's see. The next new moon is going to be Wednesday, so Thursday. And then it'll fall on the weekend.
Double Shabbat.
Yep. So it's a blessing. I mean, it really is to have feast days. So we just got to pray that more and more of our people will start to grasp on. We know it's going to take a while, man. Every time we talk about it, it's going to probably be 20 years before the calendar really starts to sink in. But as long as we keep doing our due diligence and we keep putting this out every year, it's going to catch. It's going to catch. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes, man, like when our forefathers, when they wrote, it was between years. It just didn't happen overnight. They went out and spoke one time and that was it. Man, they were doing this work for like years. I'm talking about like 50 plus. You see what I'm saying? I'm just that's just what I'm saying though. It's just this ain't the kind of work you're gonna think you're gonna do in a couple of days or a couple of years, and you think that all of a sudden deliverance is gonna come. We got to do this. We got to do this until we go to our grave. So,
it was more talk about, it's more talk about the eclipse and running around, than actually ever keeping the commandments. It's just our people are always
it's crazy, man.
Mesmerized by mysticism. Any kind of mysticism that happens. Oh yeah, they always get mesmerized by it. I don't know.
Man, you hit the nail right on the head, man. Mysticism. That's what's selling on the internet these days. Mysticism. You're right, man. People get excited about this kind of stuff, and you got ain't nobody's keeping the laws. Nobody's obeying the commandments, man. Everybody's out there still eating pork, but they mystified about an eclipse.
Man. Wow, man. You know what I mean? I mean, think about it, man. These folks are taking off from work, driving to, different states where the supposed eclipse was taking place, and then, you got your feast day, your holy day that's right there. And then, they don't even understand that's for them. It's weird.
Yeah. And they don't even want to take off on the Shabbat. Yeah. They'll take off for eclipse, man. Take a whole week off for it, family and everything, man. But they don't want to take off before any of the feast days. Even our people, man.
Yeah. Wow, man.
I mean, and I see our people. When I say our people, I'm talking about brews who claim to be awakened. They're doing videos on eclipse, man. Caught up in mysticism, and man, they're not even talking about one iota about the law.
Yeah, con.
They got a bunch of harlots and effeminates on there, man, trying to teach and break down scriptures and stuff. It's ridiculous.
A lot of madness going on here, man, in the last days. It just really is.
Yeah.
I don't know. The more you sit back, the more you look at it, man, the more you know that the scriptures are 100% true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Hey, you know, I was going to ask some of you all too, because Brother Aton was asking me. I didn't see nothing, but did y'all notice? Did y'all notice anything? Because you know, the media is always making a big deal about this stuff. Oh, it got dark. It got dark, but I don't know. I didn't see it. It's not that I was looking for it, but I didn't notice anything. And I was just saying, if y'all notice anything. Because a lot of times, man, the heathens, you know, they like to lie about everything, and you know, put stuff out there. So, yep. All right. Take this off here. Yes, sir. But envy not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
God. That's right. That's the main thing right there. Wave compared to a drop, right? That's one of my favorite things to talk about.
Yeah.
Right. That's a huge contrast. That's a huge contrast in the way the amount of people that are going to get saved and the amount of people that are going to get left behind.
Yeah. What does it say, Matt? It says what Matthew, broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, narrow is the way that leadeth unto life. You know, this is not a popular message, y'all. I mean, I know I noticed that every time me and Brother Aton we talk about the laws, you know, the views are always down a little bit. But when we talk about something like we're doing something on the flat earth, or you know, something that's mystifying in a sense, but we're keeping it within the law, people tend to you'll see the viewers go up and everything, because like I don't know, it's just like people are just more gratified with mysticism.
They love it.
Yeah, because it's like unknown. It's like, okay, I want to see what's going to happen. You know, they're out there following brothers out there that's talking about, oh, Hamashiach is going to come back and this such and such and this date, and this is what's going to happen. Oh yeah, the curses are going to be lifted.
Oh man, I was trying to pull up a scripture, man. My computer acting up. I'm gonna have to reset.
Yeah. What are you trying to pull it up? Give me a scripture. I'll pull it up for you.
Well, Jeremiah 17 and started. Verse 5.
All right, 17. Yep, you already know.
And I was going to read down to 18.
Okay.
Right? It says, "Thus say Yahuah, right? Cursed be the man that trusts in man, and makes flesh his arm, whose heart departs from Yahuah." Right? That's a lot of these things that we see around here. Like, just for example, you know, this eclipse or whatever it be, the you know, what was that, the vaccine that had everybody, you know, taking or whatnot, that, you know, nobody saw nothing, right? This is people, you're putting your trust in man and you're not putting your trust in the Most High God. Right? It's just weird the way that we see people, man. They're easily rounded up and folly, right? It says, "For he shall be like the juniper in the desert, and shall not see when good comes, but shall inhabit the parched places in the wilderness, in a salt land and not inhabited." That means, like, you know, you're going to be void of knowledge, right? You're going to be void of understanding, right? You know, you're going to be easily tricked, right? Because your flesh is trusting in man, right? Pharmaceuticals and whatever the things that they can do for you, and doctors and, you know, all this other stuff. Now, I'm not saying now, you know, don't go to the doctor to get your arm set if you broke it or something like that. But for the most part, right, you know, so we're supposed to be dependent on the Most High to keep our body healthy by doing what? By following the commandments, by eating the right kind of meats. You're not supposed to be eating all the stuff that'll give you high blood pressure, right? Diabetes and all these other sicknesses and cancers of the body, right? So that's why it's important for you to follow the dietary law that the Most High has set forth for us. Right? It says, "Blessed is the man that trusts in Yahuah, and whose hope is Yahuah is. For he shall be as a tree planted by the waters, and that spreads out her roots by the river, and shall not see when heat comes, but her leaf shall be green, and shall not be careful in the year of drought, neither shall cease from yielding fruit." And that's including in captivity, right? That's including in captivity. For those that keep the commandments, right? The Most High is going to look out for you.
That's right.
Not following the ways of the heathen, right? And you got to realize, right, here in America, they're not going to treat you. You're not going to get ever treated fair. That's not going to happen. Like, to the point that, you know, our women are wearing their hair, right? To the point where, you know what I'm saying, we tried to assimilate and fit in so much that, you know, we have their names, we have their language, we have their customs. We don't even have our, we you know, the majority of our people follow everything that was given to them by their slave masters, right? And that's just the facts of the matter, right? And no matter, even if they did all of that, you know, emulate them and do whatever, right? They will never be accepted. And see, that's the thing is why is because we're not those people. And they continue to prey on the fact that they want you to forget about your heritage and never to claim it. They don't want you to remember that you're the sons and the daughters of the Most High. They want you to be twerking in the streets. They want you to be baby mamas. They want the women rising up against the men. They want the men to be effeminate. They want the men to be shooting and killing their brothers and talking about all this folly, right? This is what the heathens want for our people. It'll be much easier for them, right? You know what I'm saying? For them to try to, you know, to go along, to get along with us. But of course, you know, back in their minds, they know that, you know, we had these people enslaved for 400 years. There is no way we can give them a fair shake. You know, we're going to put Margaret Singer and we're going to put Planned Parenthood in the neighborhoods. We're going to make sure that we're going to give them all the opportunity to destroy themselves, right? To try to make it look like they did it. And it says,
you know,
go ahead. No,
I was going to say, you know, and that's interesting that you said that, because that's exactly what they're doing. They're putting every opportunity out there to destroy ourselves. But then guess what? At the end of the day, it's on us, because I'm not saying that they're not going to get off with an excuse, but at the end of the day, who makes the final decision? You know, the words are more powerful and mightier than the pen. All right, who's telling these rappers to write about shooting our own people? You know, who's telling these rappers to write about killing one of our own people, encouraging the drug life and all that kind of stuff, disrespecting, you know, the sisters and what have you. You know, this music has turned our women into a bunch of harlots and turned nothing but our children into pookies and ray-rays. But, you know, the heathens, they love that. They're sitting back and they're like looking back like, damn, why should these niggas destroy themselves? You know, conquer and divide. That's how they get you. Conquer and divide. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 9. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Right? Who can know it? And see, this is why we have rules and regulations of the scriptures to go by. Right? Because if you did, man, you know, this is, you know, people say that you know, people say that I got in a discussion with a coworker, and they was like, well, you know, we don't need God, and we don't need rules, right? You know, everybody, you know, if you grow up, you can just all of a sudden, you know whether or not to do good or not. I was like, well, then why are the prisons filled up?
Exactly.
Why, you know, why the prisons filled up? Why are there out here people killing folks? You know, and then hey, these a lot of these prisons are filled up with you know, the majority of them are from single mother homes, and that goes to show you that they weren't taught discipline, not taught the rules and the regulations of life. Right? So these things are important, right? So you're not going to automatically know whether or not to do right or you know, to treat your brother good. These things need to be taught. That's why they're in the scriptures. That's why they're written down for our learning. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Each and every one of you, including myself, right? We know that, you know, hey, so at one point in time in our lives, we wanted to do something to somebody that made us mad, right? Or you know, we might have had a plot against somebody or for something that they have done against us, right? It's desperately wicked, and who can know it? I, Yahuah, search the heart, and I try the mind, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings. Right? I mean, that, like, please understand what that means, right? Because a lot of people, they just take that and they don't, you know, they brush it to the side, right? It says, that the Most High, he searches your heart, right? He tries your mind, and to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings, right? So like throughout your life, right, you're going to have tests. You're going to have tests throughout your life as you continue to transverse it, right? And these tests are given to you by the Most High. He's going to try your mind, right? He's going to say, well, you know, this brother, he just got done repenting and says that, you know, that he was an alcoholic and he can't control his intake, and he repenting of drinking. He's not going to do it anymore. So, you know, there's a company party, right? You know, somebody's getting a promotion or whatnot. And, you know, you're you're going to be one of the honored guests, and they want you to speak or whatnot, right? So you show up to the party, right? Ain't nothing wrong with that, right? But there's alcohol everywhere, right? All the finest, right, delectables, right, of alcohol that's there, right? It's there, right? That's your test, right? Are you going to go ahead and take you a sip and then all of a sudden get drunk, and, you know, that's you cutting it up on the dance floor, right? Because you have one too many drinks? Or are you going to be true to repent? You know what I'm saying? Little things like that could be tests. And there's a variety of other tests that the Most High could give you, right? But according to how you proceed and how you take each and every one of these tests that are given to you by the Most High, right? And according to how they turn out on the end, right? These are the things that you're going to get judged on in your lifetime, right? When you got to go in front of the Most High, the Almighty, the Ancient of Days. Right. So what fruits, right? As you live your life from today forth, you got to remember, what fruits are you bearing? Right. That the Most High can look down and be like, okay, that brother or that sister, right, did this or did that. So I can see the positive fruits of their ways is this, and this. Right. It says, as a partridge sits on eggs and hatches them not, so he that gets riches and not by right shall leave them in the midst of his days, and at his end shall be a fool. Right. So imagine a bird that's just sitting on her nest the whole time, right, waiting for the eggs to hatch. You that bird, but you wicked and your eggs don't hatch. So that means everything you've done, right, you've done it for nothing. A glorious high throne from the beginning is the place of our sanctuary, O Yahuah, the hope of Israel. All that forsake you shall be ashamed, and they that depart from me shall be written in the earth, because they have forsaken Yahuah, the fountain of living waters. Right? That's important. That's important too. Imagine how many people out there. Yeah, hey, when you know our people, I don't believe in God. Yeah, God ain't real, right? I can do what I want. Right?
The scripture says only a fool doesn't believe in the Most High.
They forsaking God. Imagine how many people of our people that are not keeping the commandments or not doing the Most High's will. They forsaken the Most will. I mean, they have forsaken the Most High. Yeah. Heal me, O Yahuah, and I shall be healed. Save me, and I shall be saved, for you are my praise. Behold, and say unto me, where is the word of Yahuah? Let it come now. As for me, I have not hastened from being a shepherd to follow you, neither have I desired the woeful day. You know that which came out of my lips was right before you. Be not a terror unto me. You are my hope in the day of evil. Right? Some of you don't have no hope in the day of evil. Right? A lot of our people, they don't count on the blessings and the protection of the Most High God. They're just out there flapping in the wind with nothing. They don't understand how barren and naked that they are.
And, you know, and even the ones who out there that do have, you know, if they have a really good job or whatever, they have a practice and they're making like over 150K, you know, they may feel happy. They may seem happy in their own ways because they drive a Bentley, Lexus, Mercedes, or whatever. But they're barren though. Why? Because they're not keeping the commandments. You got all that wealth. Yeah, you got a nice home and everything, and you can do a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of our people are like that. You have our people out there that have those kind of things. All right, but are they happy? Are they you know, inside they're miserable because they don't have the foundation. They're bearing. They're not bearing no fruit. And if they are bearing fruits, it's fruits of wickedness. All right. So just because you got something, and people will use that to say, "Oh, that was blessed by the Most High," Satan can bless too. Satan encourages people, because you got to understand what the war is all about. Is to keep you from keeping the commandments. So if Satan has to bribe you and give you a piece of the world to keep you from keeping the commandments, he's going to do it. Look at our people that's caught up in Hollywood. A lot of them have to sell their souls. They got to do things that's totally against what our heritage is. They got brothers wearing dresses and, doing all kinds of ingross stuff, devious stuff, just to fit in, just to be a part of that Hollywood club. And, this transcends through the music industry. All right. Look at all that stuff that they're doing. They got to go through, selling their souls, for a piece of morsel. It's not even worth it, And at the end of the day, I guarantee you, a lot of these cats that's been in the business for a long time, and they get out, they're old, they always come back and say, "Man, I would have never gotten involved with the industry, knowing what I know now." But because back then, it's like when a lot of our young people, it's all fun and games to them. But when the music stops, when the party's over with, you got to be held accountable. What did you do to bear fruit to help your people? What did you do? Is what you did, the wickedness you did way outweighs the good that you did for your people. You gotta be accountable. And that's why, me and Brother Aton, we're gonna spend a lifetime putting in this work, because it's not gonna happen overnight. I'm in my 50s, in my early 50s, and if the Most High's will, if I live, another 50, that's another 50 years of work they got to put in.
That's right.
You got to put it in and to the grave. Now I would love to see to a point where our people, at least 30% of our people, were keeping the commandments. But we know that according to what the scripture says, that only a remnant, and a lot of our people are not going to get it before it's too late. I think about Noah and his family, and man, it almost seems like a fairy tale, man, because 8 people out of who knows how many people that was on the face of the earth back then. You know what I'm saying? But 8 out of probably billions, millions, like, wow, that's still mind blowing. It seems so unreal, that something like that can even happen. But it happened, And that goes to tell you, and the scripture says that it's going to be the same way before he comes. They were eating, drinking, giving in marriage. So they were doing everything that they're doing now, building all kinds of stuff. Just interested in the ways of the world. Now, I'm not saying that you're not supposed to have money and not be able to survive. Of course, it takes money to survive, but at the same time, you don't got to let it be your God. It doesn't have to be your ultimate sacrifice, or it's going to keep you from the kingdom of heaven. Because this is our birthright. The laws were given to us, and here we are. We don't even want it. That's mind blowing. Like you got the Almighty, the Creator of all things, and you got the Father who sits on the throne and never gets off, and He's given all things unto His Son, Yeshua HaMashiach. Man, how in the world can our people reject something like that? And the answer is simple. It's because they're blinded. They can't see. They're dumb dogs that don't bark, like the scripture says. And when you can't see something, and you can't see what it's bad when a true general is going to know the tactics of his enemies. He's going to know how his enemies operate. A general is a tactician. He's going to know everything about the enemy. See, and that's the problem. Our people don't know anything about the enemy, because you know why? Our people are so integrated with the enemy, they can't see it. It's like when you integrate with your enemy, and you befriend that enemy, the scripture says about beholding, you become changed. All right. We've been in this captivity for so long that our people have gotten so comfortable with marrying these demon seeds, these heathens, integrating with them, doing everything they're doing, hanging out with them, all kinds of stuff. But that just tells you the scripture is real. Why? Because it says by beholding, you become changed.
Oh.
And they don't even notice. They don't even notice that. And when you do talk about, hey, keep the commandments, the Most High has put you above all people, they turn around and call you a racist. They turn around and say, "Oh man, you out of pocket, man. You trying to be above everybody else, man. We equal to them." That's how destroyed our people are. To the fact that they can't even see their own heritage, their own royalty. Our royalty has been completely lost.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. Last verse, verse 18. It says, "Let them be confounded that persecute me, but let not me be confounded. Let them be dismayed, but let not me be dismayed. Bring upon them the day of evil, and destroy them with double destruction." Right, and that's it. And that's what we got to pray for our enemies. Right.
Yep.
Not the scriptures. When Hamashiach says, "Love your enemies," he's talking about love your own people.
Yes,
right,
sir.
love your own people, right? Even the brothers that don't like you, right? You still got to show some love for them anyway, right? That's what it's talking about when we're talking about in the scriptures when it says to love your enemies, right? But these heathens, right, and things of that nature, right? We gotta pray that the Most High comes and deliver us out of their hand. We will never see any justice. They will only look at us, right? I mean, like, look at our people acting, right? The curses are on our people so bad that, come on, Israel. We see it every day, right? Just look at our community and how destroyed it is, right? And we know that nobody's going to want to, especially the way how we're living, nobody's going to want to do anything for us, right? Even if we did deserve it, nobody's not going to want to do things for people that are laden with iniquity, right? For the most of us, right? Most of us don't want to, just look at it. Just look at our people, right? As a whole, it is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Every show that they have us on, it's always a ratchet behavior, right? We don't never get the shows that we need pushed to the forefront of our people doing things of righteousness. That's not up there, right? We only have things. They only magnify the wickedness of Israel, and because of that, we got a lot of people that decide to follow that same path and believe that is a way to save them out of their situation, whatever it may be. Right?
Yeah, when you got millions and millions of women twerking up there profusely, unnecessarily, the world sees that. The whole world sees, not just the U.S. but other countries, and they're looking at us like, and hey, rightly so, because guess what? We're only as strong as our weakest link. So if you got millions of black women that's out there twerking, you got the Pookies and the Ray Rays out there doing their thing. That's what they're gonna look at, and they're gonna see that. They're gonna think that's our culture. That's normal. That has nothing to do with being a culture. That's not a culture. That's a destructive, degenerate disease. Who taught us that? Who taught you? Who taught you to twerk in the streets like that? Who taught you to open your legs to every Tom, Dick, and Hank? Who told you to decide that it was okay for you to go out and be single, black, independent? You don't need no man. Who told you all that stuff? You see what I'm saying? It didn't come. Yeah, don't even dare tell me that it came from the Torah, because you ain't gonna find nothing like that in the Torah. You gotta ask yourself, where do we get this stuff from? How do we get to a point where we're chasing the wicked ways of the heathens?
That's right.
And we're doing everything from A to Z. Who taught us that? That's not our heritage. That's not what was going on during the kingdom of David.
That's right. Brothers,
That's
same thing.
Right.
That's
not what was going on during the wilderness.
Right. I just want to get on the brothers too. Sleeping with a bunch of women doesn't make you a man.
No.
It doesn't. Not at all. You're not even supposed to be doing that at all. Look at Jacob, right? Our progenitor. Right? He worked 7 years to sleep with one woman, right? Then 7 more years to get him a second wife. But it's not that he is sleeping with multiple women out. He's marrying these women. He's not out there, looking for righteous. He's not out here in the club, right, looking for hookups.
Yeah.
Right? Preying on baby mamas. Right? Like women are by nature, right? They are made to follow. That's how their brain waves are designed. That's how they are designed, period. That's how the Most High made them, because they were made to be a man's helper. Right. So that means they're going to need to be led. So when you think about that, Israel, you have to keep in mind that they're going to be easily influenced, especially by wickedness, because wickedness influences all. It takes a strong man to eschew wickedness, right? If it didn't, then we'll look back at our forefathers and we'll look back at our history and we'll see that it was easy to obey the commandments. But obviously, it's not easy to obey the commandments. It takes a strong man, a man of mental fortitude, right, to be able to keep these commandments in faith and righteousness. That's what it is, right? It's not easy. So if you know that you are being, especially if you're the stronger vessel, right? You're saying if you're the man, and then if you have to fight off wickedness, this is why the woman must be covered, right? Somebody has to help her. Somebody has to help protect her from wickedness, and that's the man's duty, right? That is the man's job, right?
And when you take the woman out of her natural role, which she should be following, and then you put her in a leadership position in the home, and me and Brother Eitan did a lesson, showed you how the percentage of black single women is roughly like up there. It's like roughly 70%. It throws the nature balance out of place. All right, because again, like Brother Eitan was saying, women, according to the Torah, the Most High made the woman to follow, but she was supposed to be protected as well too. So what did the heathens do? They came along, started putting drugs into the community, throwing brothers into prison. So that took away that protection. That forced the women, to have to lead on their own, and it just kept repeating itself. And now you have these women in leadership positions, and you can see how it's not working because the Most High never designed it that way. So this should be a telltale sign to let you know why things are out of order. And, unfortunately, the process just has to continue to happen until the Most High can weed all that stuff out and start back all over again.
It's going to be tough.
It's going to be extremely tough. And not so much tough, it is going to be beyond anything that we've seen. Like right now, a lot of you sisters are really protected. You really are. You're protected by the government.
Of course.
But if stuff hits the fan and all this stuff is taken away, and give you an example, like welfare, the court system protecting the woman, giving the children, always going to the women, when all that stuff goes away, and all hell breaks loose, it's going to be a whole different outcry. All right, and it's coming. It's because our people are so comfortable right now, and under the heathen's protection, you don't really see it. All right, because this is the way they're designing it and everything.
God, it's set up,
Jason,
right?
Yep.
It's set up for us to fail. That's the way they wanted to do it. They want you to believe in Uncle Government, right? The Zaddy, right? Hey, sure. Hey, we'll give you X amount of dollars. Just don't have a man in the home. Let's go ahead and fuel the destruction of the family. You know what I'm saying? Then they want to put these. Then you look around, you see all these podcasts on. They're talking about they're talking about relationship dynamics and how a man should you should have bimbos on the side and all kind of just all kind of degenerate wickedness, right? You can't preach one facet on one end, saying that the nucleus of a society is the family values. Then on the other end, you talk about sleeping with multiple women, which is ruining that particular family value, right? Nobody wants a used up woman. Nobody wants a woman that's been slept with a lot of people. I mean, it's just not going to make good for a wife, period. right? And then you know, in the scriptures, right? You know, no man's not. I mean, come on, man. Let's just keep it real, Israel, right? Sisters too. You're gonna feel better, right? When you then, you know, when you kept your, you know, when you kept your, you kept your body sacred, right, for your husband, right? That's gonna make you feel better. You know, that's gonna make you feel good, right? Especially for the man too. You know, he might go at, you know, he don't mind going to work, right? 12, you know, 15, 16 hours a day, right? So you can stay home and take care of the children, right? You know, because he knows that what? You haven't given yourself away to any other man. You're really loyal to him, right? And you support that man and his help. That man will go out and be something. He'll go out, work his behind off, do what he has to do, right? And come on. And you know what? The proof of that is we see how the Industrial Revolution took place in the 80s, right? And how all the families back in the day, they were what, right? They were nuclear families. The nuclear family is what built America and the great technologies that we have today, right? Today, we don't do any more inventing, right? Nobody invents any new things today. You just try to improve on the same old stuff that my father built. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. That's all it is nowadays, right? Because of what? We don't have the same stuff, man. They got stuff in schools now that, you know, you're not learning about all the fantastical mathematics and mechanical things and stuff like that, and you're out there playing, yeah, and you're out there, it's big on recess, you're out there big on physical fitness, right? Because physical fitness is also going to make your mind better as well. Like, then we don't do that anymore. They have gender theory now in school, right? They have things that are dealing with all kind of foolishness, right? They're dumbing you down right in front of your face, right? You don't have fathers in the home. Why? Because you can't have fathers standing up at the schools, right, disagreeing with the stuff. So now the government's taking over, raising up the kids, right? And then people are complaining about why the kids are getting dumber, or why this is getting, you know what I'm saying, or why this is getting happen, right? I'm a girl boss, you know. I mean, like, you know, that these things are being pushed on the public. These things are lies, right? How you a girl boss? And then we look at the statistics, and it says overall, right, every single, right, the average of all single mother homes, right, the average money that they have in their bank account is $100. That's when all y'all combine together. Sure, they may have some that's doing better than others, right? And we're always going to have that, right? But overall, right, you talking, right, overall, you have an average of $100 in your bank account. You saying that, you know, you don't, you want a man to pay all your bills, but you have a problem with a man going 50-50 with you. What are you talking about? You paying 100 of your bills now. You paying 100% of your bills, and you have a problem with a man paying 50% of your bill. You are stupid. That does not make sense. If you get 50% is half of what you were paying before, right? That's a deal. Even if you got a brother that's not, you know, that's not, you know, he's not financially attractive, right? But he is working. If he can cut down on your expenses 50%, that's 50% better than you were doing before. What part of that did you not understand? Right? At least you got two parents in the home. At least guess what? The kid ain't always getting on your nerves, right? You got two parents, right? Whenever you go to work, right? You know, the dad's home watching the child, right? And then, you know, he can get on his nerves for some time. And then when you come home, it's just a switch off. And then guess what? Y'all working into the golden years. Right, put up with it for a little minute, and then when y'all get old, y'all can retire. Nobody has to work. The kids are out of the house, and y'all are sitting back doing y'all thing, living fat off retirement. Because what? Y'all doing what you're supposed to, and y'all keeping the commandments. Y'all obeying God. And because everybody wants to be selfish, they want to do what they want, right? Remember now, the end goal is always the same, right? One, here in life, right? You want to live righteously so you can die and get the kingdom, right? Doesn't matter how you get there, right? Are you going to be a politician or a girl boss, you know, when you're 65, 70? Is that something that you're going to want to do? No, you're not going to want to do that at that age. You want to chill out with your husband or whatever, right? Travel the world and enjoy your grandkids. That's what you're going to do. But we've been lost. We've been caught up into the. Oh yeah, go ahead, Doc.
You know what's interesting? The name of the lesson is chasing the wicked ways of the heathens. What is the number one thing that we're not chasing the heathens? after. Think about it. Marriage examples. We're doing everything else after the heathens except for following the marriage examples. I want you to think about that for a minute. That is crazy because we're the only race of people on the face of the earth that that believe that we don't need the what I should say this. This is the only race of people where the black woman doesn't need a man. You would never ever hear the other races say that collectively, especially the Asian race, because they know that marriage is the cornerstone of success. And like brother was, anytime was bringing up that points, 50-50, even let's say, even if it wasn't 50-50, let's say, okay, this brother he got some good strong income coming in and he gets with a Proverbs 31 woman. Well, guess what? Man, she gonna take care of the home. Man, he don't have to worry about meals not being prepared and everything, even though he's bringing in all the money, but he's still saving a lot of money. You know why? Because she's taking care of business at home. All right. She's taking care of the kids. You don't gotta worry about money for daycare. All right. And if she's, smart enough and have her credentials, man, she can homeschool the kids. And guess what? That's money saved right there. So,
let me add on to that real quick. Let me add on to that point.
Yeah.
Let me add on to that point.
Yeah, go ahead.
And you're not going to get that, right? So sisters, this is why it's important to raise your daughters for them to be virgins, right? Yeah. You're not going to want, you're not going to have some guy that's out here, busting his behind out in the world, trying to be this and own businesses and have a lot of money, and all of a sudden they're going to pick up, the whore of the block, right? The woman that's promiscuous. He's not going to pick that one. That's why it's important to keep your legs closed, right? To be a woman, to be feminine, just like the scriptures, and be that Proverbs 31 woman. The Proverbs 31 woman, she's the one that lives the soft life, right? She's the one that is easily taken care of and things of that nature, right? You don't want, what I'm saying? I mean, like by a good brother, a righteous brother. I'm not talking about none of these knuckleheaded, these movie stars that y'all see out there. They cheating on their old ladies. They got bimbos on the side. I'm not talking about them clowns, right? I'm talking about good men, right? If you want that kind of life, right? Good men are looking for the, down here in the South, we say like, country girl type, what I'm saying? That's, she's not on social media. She don't have what I'm saying, that she's not, all stuck on herself, down to earth, a woman that keeps the commandments, righteous in nature. That's just what it is. Sorry, Salaki, go ahead.
Give me a second. I want to bring up something right quick. And that's very important. And like I said, even if the woman wasn't working and she's a Proverbs 31 woman, she's going to be taken care of. One thing I noticed, with brothers, they respect a woman who's going to keep it, who's going to be true to herself, who honors. There's nothing like a woman who honors her own body and preserves herself. A man will have more respect for that than a harlot. Why? Because a harlot is going to give it up easy. You come across the harlot with kids, and they never got married, and she got a bunch of kids, and she's looking for another man. Man, Pookie and Ray Ray is going to pick that up. They're going to snatch it up so quick, it's not going to even be funny. But a real just man is not going to want that. Who's going to want something all used up? So a man is going to really respect a faithful woman or a true woman who values herself, because a woman who values herself is not going to give it up like that. She's going to be that diamond in the ocean. All right. Proverbs 14:12, it says, "There's a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death." And a lot of times our people, these bad habits that we've learned from the heathens, again, chasing the wicked ways of the heathens, have been our kryptonite, because it's taken us further and further down a pit. It may seem right for a bunch of Pookies and Ray Rays to sleep with a bunch of women and everything. It may seem right for the sisters to feel like, oh, they don't need a man, or they can get along with the man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. All right. What these Pookies and Ray Rays won't tell you is that a lot of them got diseases, that uncurable diseases. But they don't want to tell you that.
I'll go ahead tripping.
And
Yeah.
but it's facts though. You know what I'm saying? But that's the part that they don't want you to know. And then they out there screwing all you sisters out there that's giving it up. You don't know what's going into you.
Hey, you know the funny thing is too about that is that you know they'll let every one of these sisters out here that have a baby outside of wedlock, that ain't no dude that they really wanted that baby from. You know what I'm saying? You know, you let some pookie hit it, right? There is, like, if the dude doesn't really take you serious, you know, like, of course you got this hookup culture that the heathens have introduced you, right? So you're trying to live this wicked way of the heathens, right? This hookup culture, and you think that it's cool that, you know, hey, you know, I can sleep with this guy if I think he's attractive or this, that, and the third, right? You mess around, get pregnant, right? Hey man, your life is ruined. That man does not, you know what I'm saying? Think about it, right? No, what man wants to marry a woman that's promiscuous? What man's going to take a woman seriously if they have a child with him, right? If she's promiscuous, it's not going to happen, right? If the dude is out here and he's, you know, and that's why it's also important for you, brothers too, right? For you not to become a Pookie or a Ray Ray, right? If you out here chasing tail, right, trying to chop as many women as you can, right? What are you doing essentially? You're messing it up for the brothers that want virgins. You're messing up for the brothers that want to truly want relationships with these women. You don't want no relationship with these women. You know, you're looking at it as some sport, right? And the women are too dumb to understand that or see that happening right before their eyes, right? Sisters, you got to realize it's a sport. If a brother is trying to have sex with you and not trying to give you marriage, right? It's a sport to him. He don't care about you, right? He's just trying to get it and be and go. This is why it was a big thing back in the day. You paid 50 shekels, right? You had to make real commitments back in the day, right? Why? Because you made real commitments for real sisters that had real discipline about their body, right? Because they understand, like, me keeping my pureness is what's going to affect me being a mother in the future. It's what that's going to affect me making the decisions that I need to make to raise up the next generation of Hebrews. Right? You're not gonna no child is going to look up at their mother and think about my mother being a promiscuous woman. That's not a good look, right? So if you feel that way about your mom, if you don't want your mom to be a promiscuous woman, what does that mean about you? That you shouldn't be promiscuous either, because you know that's wrong. That's how you know it's wrong. That's how you know that is wrong. If I'm like, man, I can't imagine if my mom was a hoe. You know what I'm saying? If my mom was acting, you know what I'm saying? If my mom was promiscuous back in the days, right? if that crossed your mind as a woman or a man, that's the same thing for you. You don't need to be doing that. The scriptures say, right, fornication is a sin against your own flesh. You sin it against your own flesh, right? Especially you sisters, you understand that when a man, especially if you're doing it without protection, right? That right, the seed stays with you forever. That stuff lodges in the back of your brain. That's why all of a sudden when you see a man and a woman, they're together for you know what I'm saying, for a while, right? The woman all of a sudden just starts to take on the characteristics of the man. You know, whatever slang he's using or whatever stuff he likes, you know what I'm saying? It just, you know, because the man's the sun, the moon's on the woman's like a moon, you know, so it's starting to revolve around him. Starting to pick up his ways and things of that. This is not for everybody. You know, you're not supposed to be with, you know, 2, 3, 4 different guys in your life and start picking. Nah, man, you're supposed to pick the one dude. Boom, y'all merge together as one, and then that's that.
Facts. And this is, you know, this is what we've been telling you for so long. You know, and I know some of you got it, but the ones who really need this are not on here. They need to hear it. You know what I'm saying? And this is where you all have to come in at and really share these things with these young women, and especially with I always say with the elderly sisters. All right, with the more senior sisters, 60 and on up. You know, really need you to talk to these young sisters. You know, unfortunately, some of these older women out there trying to compete with the younger women. You know, which is sad. But we need these older ladies to really teach these younger sisters, even if they don't listen. You know, and we can sit here until we blue in the face, talking about chasing the wicked ways of the heathens, but look where it's got us. Look what chasing the ways of the heathens have gotten us. And to this day, 2024. All right, and this is still the new year, the month of we're still in the month of Abib.
That's right.
All right, as you can see.
So
we just started this new year, 2024, and it's like our people have gotten from the 17th to the 24th day of the first month. Our people probably have gotten even more wicked.
Brother, hey Dale, hey brother Blackwood, are you sick today? You're not sick, are you? I know you've been with here long with us. I know you've been with us long enough to know better than to ask this question.
Oh man, no, I can't do that.
What if brothers go with the heathen? Well, you take your behind to the lake of fire then. How about that? That's exactly where you're going, right?
Stay away from the heathens, man.
Yeah, man, we can't be doing that.
That's right. Even in our captivity, that's the law. Law is the law. All right.
Yeah, no marrying, no heathens, no having mamzer babies, none of that stuff.
We cannot mix, man. Our people didn't mix. When you look at the slavery that we went through, man, our people wasn't out there mixing with. The only reason why you had mamzer babies, man, is because the slave masters was raping the women. That was why.
I mean, you want your child to have a chance to clink at the kingdom, right? You want your child to have a chance at the kingdom. If you want your child to have a chance at the kingdom, then mate with your own people, right? You mate with mamzers, your child is not going to get a chance at the kingdom. You have banished him, right, to the lake of fire. That's what's going to happen to him, right? He's not going to live. He doesn't have a chance of living. He's only going to receive death. So don't do that to your own child.
Right? Now, let me tell you this. If you're concerned about not finding a sister in the United States, brother, the United States is not the only place on the planet where there's Israelite sisters. They're all over the world. Remember, we scattered to the four corners. You know, and that might have to be an option. You know, I hate to say it, for many of our brothers that are looking to get married. Unfortunately, the ones here in the U.S., I'm not saying that they're not around, but your chances of finding a Proper 31 in another country is going to be probably 100 times greater than the U.S. I'm just saying like it is, brother.
It's Babylon over here. Yeah, we're not saying the Proverbs 31 woman doesn't exist over here.
Yeah,
you know, it's a rare find, right? Yeah. You know, but most of these, you know, like I say, right, most of these sisters over here, you see the sickness that we are. I mean, like, they don't even wear their own hair; they emulate the heathen. So you already know you're sleeping beside the enemy. You know, I mean, like, one that doesn't feel comfortable with their own self is, you know, what do you think is going to happen? That's not a healthy person, right? That's not a healthy. You know, just imagine if the brothers was walking around here with Brad's hair. They felt they had to wear Brad's hair to feel handsome, right? You know, that would be, you know what I'm saying? You know, we got blonde wigs on with straight hair. Hey, dude, you know, I mean, come on, man. You know, that's crazy, right? Like we're not out here doing that, and so the sisters shouldn't be doing that either. Right? Everybody should be proud of what you were born with, especially if you was born with the hair of the Most High God, right?
Yeah.
We got any questions on this new moon? On this new moon holy day?
Somebody said, "Can y'all talk about?" Let me put this on here. Can y'all talk about Passport Bros? They tried to change them, but I recently went to Colombia. There's a huge population, and yes, they are better culture. I've heard the term Passport Bros, but you know, hey, you know, brothers. I'm not gonna lie, brothers are sick and tired of the sisters here in the United States. So yeah, a lot of brothers are going over seas, and that's a good way to put it. Better cultured, more mature. All right.
Yeah, I wouldn't suggest Colombia though. I wouldn't suggest Colombia. That's you know, you're more likely to get a heathen in that area. I would try to stay within the dark, within the dark continents, right?
Yeah.
In the
Well,
dark
even
spaces.
in Colombia, but even in Colombia, there's a population that we have a good population of Israel. You know what
Con.
I'm saying? You just have to know. You just have to know where to look. And again, yeah, you have to be careful with that. You have to pray about that, brother. I can't really suggest to you what would be a good place. I would not suggest South Africa, and the only reason why I say that is because South Africa is just like America. Those sisters over there are all the same. They've been indoctrinated with the West, so you may tend to get the same vibe as you do over here. So you want to go to places that hasn't really been affected by the West.
Like Tanzania and areas like that.
Yeah.
That's probably a little better.
Yeah.
Let me see. We got any more questions? Do we have any more questions, Israel? Let's see here. Yeah, but yeah, no heathen women, right? That doesn't mean we abandon our women and then start dealing with the heathen women. I mean, like, how's that going to help the culture, right? Come on,
exactly.
Right? That's not going to help the culture at all. As a matter of fact, it's going to make it worse. We are seeing how they act about, brothers going over to white women. So, that's we don't need to fan the flames. Some friends about our skin color and no matter how light.
Yeah, that whole light skin thing. That's just a term on words. All right.
What's that? Man, hold up. We had a doggone man. What's the name of that? Jim Crow. That's that Jim Crow joint, right? You know what I'm saying? When it's talking about some of the light skinned slaves against the dark skinned slaves.
Yeah, Willie
Lynch. Yeah. Willie Lynch lady. That's what it is. Lock here.
Yeah. That's where it came from. It's pitting that against everything.
It's amazing how people have time to worry about that. Oh, how light your dark skin color. Nigga, you got so much other stuff to worry about, right? Our people have so much other stuff to worry about. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy. It's absolutely amazing that our people have the time to worry about what skin color they is, right, bro? You don't have your own last name. What the hell are you talking about? What skin color I am? You don't even you can't tell me not one of your own traditions that you had before you came over here. You can't speak your own language. You have nothing, man. You got niggas on the internet talking about some man. I hate it when old heads talking about some when they want their reparations, that they want some land. I want money. Shut your dumb ass up. You know how stupid that sounds? Land is where, that's why you have to listen to the old people, right? Land is power. Did Hamashiach send Israel across the lands, heaping up riches? No, right? We heaped up land to build up Israel, right? You know what I'm saying? If you have land, you have power. You know why? Because you could have businesses build on your land and then tax them rent, taxes, all kinds of stuff that you can pay for with the land. If you own the land, you can then these buildings and structures, they just sit on that stuff. They don't, that's what it is. Land is the power. Some clown thinking about something. He wants money. He wants a pitch. He wants some paper with somebody else's picture on it. That's how stupid he is. You know how retarded that is. Oh yeah. Give me some whole bunch of paper with somebody else's picture on it. Man, nigga, you dumb. Now that's just retarded. Land is where the power is. Your money. Right. It's resources, right? Money is a substitute for resources. That's what it is, right? It's supposed to be like money, right? The Federal Reserve note is supposed to be backed up by gold, right? It's supposed to be, even though it's not, right? They're trying to change everything digitally now, and everything. They're just trying to make value out of thin air, right? But essentially, right, back in the day, how it worked was you take in your gold, you give it to the bank, right? And the bank would give you Federal Reserve FRNs, which is Federal Reserve notes, right? To say that because I have this amount of paper in my hand, because it's a lot easier carrying the paper than it would be a sack of gold, right? So you let the bank hold the gold, and you got the Federal Reserve notes, and you're like, well, I had this many, this much gold according to this many Federal Reserve notes that you had in your hand, right? That's that's it right there. Force you for nowadays, for you to want that paper, but nowadays people are wanting the paper instead of the gold. Right? That's how backwards your mind is, right? Your mind has become now, now I'd rather want the paper instead of the gold. No, clown. Gold, you want the gold first.
Exactly.
So you can always have that. And you want the land first because the land is the real value.
Yeah. It's interesting because gold was actually like, paper currency is really a new concept. For thousands and thousands of years, the original currency were gold coins, silver, copper. That was nickel. That was the currency that they used 1,000 years. Who was it? Was it the British? It might have been the British or the Chinese that came up with the paper currency, but it was one of them. And it wasn't really that long ago. It's been probably a little bit under 300 years or less. So paper currency is really a new concept. All right. I want to ask this right here, and then we're going to probably let you all go to enjoy the rest of the new moon. So explain the third generation that's grafted back in. So if you go through some of our videos, we explained that, but just kind of give you a short answer on this. Deuteronomy 25 talks about, so it's like if you marry, okay, let's say your granddaddy, all right, married a heathen, all right, and then that son, you have to wait, and then the grandson would have to marry an Israelite in order for that child to be fully integrated back into the third generation. So that's basically what that means. But we've done lessons on that before. So if you want to just go through peruse through all the lessons, you'll see stuff on that too.
God, who's that? Abraham's great grandson that had to be grafted back in after the third generation. No, hold on. What was that? It was one of the. Yeah, it was one of them. God.
Yeah, and not Ephraim, but Joseph also. But this is before the laws were given. Of course, but Joseph was given the Ethiopian, the Egyptian woman. All right, and so, but after the third generation, them by the time the law came into play, them boys were fully grafted back in as Israelites. So, plus the Egyptians were black anyway too. So
God,
but right. I mean, it's simple. It's not hard to understand. Just don't go out and marry no heathens now. You gotta wait 3 generations before they can get back in.
Yeah, God.
You don't
got any more questions? All right, Israel. Also, put some more questions down there if you got any. Before Brother Daniel and I let you guys go and continue to celebrate your new moon holy day.
That's right.
Yeah, that's another thing, man. That's another thing you just brought out. Man, that's how dumb these heathens are, right? You know what I'm saying? That everybody is still believing that these so-called Jewish people are the people of the Bible, when we know that Moses was passed up the river, right, to pass off as an Egyptian. And we see that the Egyptians, they paint themselves on the walls to be black people, right? So how in the hell you get pale pink colored folks over there with long hook noses claiming to be somebody they're not? It's just crazy, man.
And even Hamashiach, man, even Hamashiach was like he was in Egypt as a child,
God.
So he blended right in. So what does that tell you? Man, I saw something on Netflix. I was just scrolling through and I saw some Moses crap, man. I'm like,
I seen that.
I'm like, what is this? What is this BS, man? I didn't even bother to look at it, man. I just saw the thumbnail. I'm like, man, I ain't messing with this stuff.
They're going hard on that. They're going hard on trying to continue to make up that lie, to continue to propagate that lie.
Well, with the war going on with Gaza, man, the Most High, the Most High is exposing them, man. But like you said, they're doing all they can, man, to hang on to a little ounce of lies that they can hang on to, man. But that stuff's about to come crumbling down.
Yeah, they over there crying and asking other nations for help. Oh, don't man. When has it ever been like that in the scriptures? Right? We ain't never had to ask no other nations for help, man. When it was time for us to kick ass, man, the Most High gave us the power and we did that thing. I don't know what
that should be a cut. That should be a total cut right there to tell you that they ain't Israel. They're begging for help. It was the U.S. that set them up over there in the first place.
They begging for help. What in the world is that at in the scriptures, right? Mm. What did that ever happen at? That never happened in the scriptures. I don't know, man. Is this as the continuation of time goes forth? It seems like, man, people are just getting dumber and dumber, and the times are just starting to pass away, right?
Yep.
And it's true, I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, what thing do you know, that's that with time, right, it doesn't deteriorate with time.
Mhm.
Right? There's
There's
nothing.
people. It's chosen seed.
Right, that right. Well, yeah. Besides that, well, but besides that, like there's nothing on the earth that doesn't deteriorate with time, right? Including the human race, right? So I don't
That's
understand
right.
why people believe that humans are getting better instead of getting worse, right?
Yeah.
Everything deteriorates on this earth. We've seen species die out from deterioration, right? Every species they've died out over and over again because their lives just died out. They just can't make it no more. The same thing with the humans, right? We can't last forever. It's impossible for human beings to last forever.
Well, you think about these demon seeds, like these non-melanated people, because they're not the indigenous people of the earth. So and that's why you made that a perfect example. That's why they're trying their hardest to intermingle with our seed, so they can survive through us. That's the only way that they're trying to do it, and they're willing to sacrifice. They're willing to sacrifice their non-pale, their paleistic, demon, symbiotic, whatever you call it. I'm just making up words now. Demonic seed, but that's not gonna happen because the Most High is getting ready to increase the sun, about to burn these jokers up. And the next thing you know, you're gonna start seeing them spontaneous combustion.
You like that spontaneous combustion?
Oh yeah, man. Look that stuff up, man. There's been over 200 cases, and all of them have been demon seeds, man. Yep.
Yeah, man. You had me look that up, man. I was like, wow. I was amazed because I was like, man, you got these folks that are literally catching on fire from the inside out. You got to be like, man, I wonder what the hell they sins was. I mean, like they was probably just wicked as hell. Probably had children in the basement. Ain't no telling what they was doing.
Look, man, they probably was trying to meditate, man. They hit that right frequency, man. Them jokers just, because they didn't have no carbon in them jokers just set on fire, man, set ablaze. Shoot. But all right, Israel. Well, hey, look, we're going to let you enjoy the rest of the new moon feast.
Is the illegal the start of the tribulation? The illegal what? I don't understand what you're saying.
What that?
Because we done had a lot of tribulations. Slavery was a tribulation, right? We've been in tribulations ever since the Arabs. So it's not. It's like Go ahead, What you about to say?
We've been in tribulation ever since we got kicked out in 70 AD.
Right? That tribulation.
That's not tribulation.
In
each generation,
when the first
generation is going to have the tribulation.
Right, and when the first trumpet blows, right, and then we see the what we see in the scriptures as the prophecy starts to take place, the drying up of the rivers, right, things of that nature, right. We're gonna know that it's not going to be a secret, right, when the time is for the Hamashiach, when he starts making big moves, and when the time's getting close. It's not going to be a secret, all right. Yeah, I don't know. Legal immigrants.
Said, that's just a phase in the plan that's happening. Most High is allowing all that stuff to happen.
Anything with tribulations. Go ahead. What you about to say? My bad. So I couldn't hear you on this end.
No, that's what she was saying. Illegal immigrants. No, that might be part of as far as them replacing a lot of our people. But again, our people every generation has always faced some kind of tribulation, and it's going to continue to be that way even after our generations. Even when the dust is long gone from our bones, guess what? Our people are going to continue to experience their tribulations until the time of the very end. Because the time of the end doesn't mean that Hamashiach is coming. The time of the end just means that you only got so much time before you go to the grave. You see what I'm saying? And that's the time that you get, because for us it is the end time, because we're getting closer. Like the next 50 years, next 60 years from now, if we don't live past 100, we're going to all be in our graves. So this is the end time for us. And then for the next generation, their end time will begin, because once they're born, their end time begins the moment they're born. Their clock starts winding down.
Let me say something about that illegal immigration thing, right? Who's, even though, right, we look at these, we look at the heathen and Biden for letting all these illegal immigrants in, right? If they start taking over, the small portion that we did have right? Whose fault would that be? It's our fault, right? I mean, like, come on, Israel. I mean, like, that's really the bottom line, right? Niggas don't want to stop selling drugs. Niggas don't want to stop being pookies and ray-rays, and women don't want to keep their damn legs closed. They continuously going down, right? They continuously going down to getting abortions, right? They're not listening. I mean, like, if these heathen are coming over and they're able to take over our people, that's because we let it, right?
Yeah.
We have been too busy fighting again amongst each other to see the enemy creep up right beside us and take over. Boom, just like that.
And remember, nothing happens without the Most High's permission. So if these immigrants are coming over and they're sending them straight to the hoods, it's because the Most High is allowing it. Because what did he say in Deuteronomy? I will rejoice over thee to destroy thee. So hey, that might be one of the ways that he's rejoicing. Is using these immigrants to replace the pookies and the ray-rays, to replace the harlots, effeminates, and so be it. That's the Most High's will. So be it.
Like, look how long we've been free, right? We've been so-called free for a good little minute. There is no excuse. There is no excuse why our people should be this downtrodden. Why there should be no excuse why our marriage rates are where they are, right? They're not physically coming into the hood and then forcing the sisters to be like that. They're not physically coming into the hood and forcing the pookies and ray-rays to be like that. They're not doing this, right? You niggas are doing it on your own, right? You're literally doing it on your own, right? You've been fighting for so long that you're just so stupid that you think it's everything. Oh, everything's just gonna always remain the same. Everything's just always, hey, we're free now. You know, I don't have to listen to my man. I can just go out and do whatever I want, right? I could sell drugs to my own brothers. But I don't have to come up in the community. I don't have to build things or do nothing else. I can just keep helping the white man, right? Next, and as soon as you know it, right on the horizon. Now, man, we should have been together as a people. Right on the horizon, guess what we look up? And we see the Mexicans done rose up. Now they got more numbers than us over here. Right now, now the government's letting them in unabated, right? Facts. But why they didn't even have to try to beat us. We beat ourselves. They didn't have to try. They just put up a little. You know what? They beat us with rap music. They say, you know, we're gonna get a couple of wicked niggas, right, to come up with some couple of wicked songs, and we're gonna sell them to the black folks. The next thing you know, they're gonna be shooting and killing people. And selling each other drugs, you know, so we're gonna be able to get them on RICO cases. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, if you on a phone call talking about you got a 20 bag of that white girl, whatever the case may be, right, man, we about to lock your ass up for 20 years. Man, you got niggas right now sitting in the feds, right? You know what I'm saying? That never touched nothing, but they doing football numbers up in there, right? And that's real. But that's because our people, we can't get it together, right? We think that everything is gonna remain the same. The Most High said we're going to go through tribulation if we don't keep the commandments. And you know one of the commandments is, one of the second and greatest, it said what? Love your brother as you love yourself. That means that we should all supposed to be hanging out, hanging together, chilling out, you know, getting along, right? Bigging each other up, blowing up each other's businesses, and working together as a people. But we're not doing that.
Nope.
We didn't let these heathen come in, right up under our nose. Man, you look down the street, man, you see Mexicans driving bigger and better trucks than you do. They probably don't. They probably over here fresh on a visa, right? On some construction yard somewhere, right? Cobbling together homes or apartments or whatever it is they building up. But all of a sudden, man, they doing better than you are. Like, come on, man, how is that possible? But you still up in the hood. You still up in there trilling, complaining, talking about the white man this and the white man. Man, get off your ass and start working, right? And then after you do that, you get a little bread in your pocket, start working with your people, right? Y'all put y'all bread together. Y'all start passing around that same dollar with that white man's face on it around the hood, and y'all start making it work for you.
That's how they did it back at Black Wall Street.
Our people too stupid though to do that. You just wanna buy the Gucci and whatever the white man's selling. That's all y'all want. Y'all want whatever the white man got. That's what y'all want. To the point where y'all so stupid, y'all trying to get into the movies now. You know, I want to be the black Ariel. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you want to complain when you're not in the white man's movies? Hey, the white man thought of that. Let the white man have his movies. You know what I'm saying? I can now if you was thinking about something, you know what I'm saying? Of course, then you don't have to worry about no DEI. You know, so all this diversity, equity, and inclusion crap. Right? This is complete garbage. Oh, why can't we have a black Wolverine or something? You know, no, man, nigga, are you kidding me right now? You know what I'm saying? These characters in these universes were thought up by heathens. So you shouldn't be mad if they wanted everybody in their universe to be white. You can't be mad at that. They thought of it.
Mm-hmm.
If you want something to have you included on it, man, you get off your sorry behind and you work for it and you do it.
You know, start thinking, man. Like I would rather have a plastic bag with $5,000 in it than a Gucci Louis Vuitton bag with only $50 in it. You see what I'm saying? The problem is our people's thinking, man. It's like it's just the priorities are always on the wrong things. It's always about fashion. I grew up, man, seeing like in the hood, man. I've seen brothers with Lexuses, man, Mercedes, sitting up, man. They sitting up there living with their grandma, man, up in the hood. But yet they can get them a Lexus, man. All that kind of crazy. It's always been about show and tell for our people. You know, it's the dumb niggas, man, that will spend all their money trying to look rich. But the truly rich will look like the poor, so that nobody knows that they're rich.
Facts.
But our people are backwards.
Yeah, material things will waste away, and that's why the rich men look poor, because they realize that. Yep. Materialistic things, they will rot away. That's the same problem that King Solomon had. Right? He was like, man, I did all this work. I done heaped up all this riches for what? When I die, I don't know how my son's going to spend it. I don't know who's going to take control of what, because I'm going to be dead and gone into the spiritual world, and I don't have no control of the things that I heaped up in the physical world. Right? The problem is our people don't realize this stuff, man. This stuff that we have here, right? This is only temporary. You don't get that many years of living, man. This is a test. When you're born to die, right? You come into the world with a shot clock. It's a ticker. It's counting down. That means that you have time to do what? What is this? You know, every test, you know, has a time limit, right? This life is a test. Once you come in, right? As soon as you're born, you come through the matrix, right? The countdown begins. The Lord already knows how much time you got. He didn't set the timer on there.
That's it.
Right? For you to get into the kingdom. You know, some people move longer than others. That's all it is, Israel, right? Don't waste it away. Don't all of a sudden think about, you know, I think I should, you know, my whole life, I want to, you know, just as hard as you focus on, you know, I want to get riches and, you know, I want to get them new Jordans or something like that. That's just as hard as you should be focusing on doing these works. You know, making sure that your brother knows who Hamashiach is and the Most High God, Almighty Yahuah, right? That your brother should be keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, right? You know, the folks that come around you, right? They should all of a sudden, you know, they should start, you know, straightening up their tie, right? Tucking in their pants, or just feel like they need to be proper and upright around you. That's the spirit that you need to have, right? Oh no, man! Here comes Brother Daniel right here. Oh man, hey man, put that cigarette out. Hey man, here comes Brother Daniel. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, put that 40 ounce down. Yeah, here comes Brother Daniel right here. That's the spirit that every one of our people should have on you. Because you know what that does? Instead of having that spirit where all of a sudden you see now this is not Brother Daniel, but you know, Brother Daniel comes up and they know he got a liquor bottle too, so they feel comfortable in their wickedness. Oh yeah, what up, Brother Daniel? Hey, y'all clinking bottles, right? That's not the spirit that you need to have. You need the spirit that eschews wickedness. That's what will get this brother to be like, you know what, man, I see his life and I see he's living, right? Even if you ain't a brother that ain't got much, right? You might got you a little Honda, a little Toyota or something, right? And then you know, they looking at you, but you have a peaceful life. You don't have any you don't have no skeletons in the closet. You don't have no brothers chasing you. You don't have your life is righteous, right? Peaceful. Yeah, another brother look at that and be like, hey brother, how you live like that? Where you get that glit in your eye from? You're like, well, I get it from keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. You know, I got the wisdom to handle any kind of all things that come through me, right? Because it says that I can do all things that Christ who strengthens us, right? Because you have the knowledge of the law, statutes, and commandments. Brothers can see that confidence that you're exuding, right? You'll get the righteous sisters, you know, things of that nature, you know, things that you're supposed to be doing. You can't be that Pookie and Ray Ray with that wicked ass spirit, and all of a sudden, you know, Oh yeah, man. You want to be attracted. You know what I'm saying? That's going to bring your whole attractions wrong. Instead of you being attracted to the woman that's being covered up, right? You're attracted to the woman that's scantily clad. But the scriptures already tell you that what a wicked man should receive a wicked woman. So all of a sudden, when you're going through problems and all of this and all of that, man, you wonder what the hell's going on. No, nigga, it's you the reason why it's going on. The Most High put that on you because you didn't know how to choose because you was wicked within your heart. So we as a people, we got to come together, right? Before it's too late, right? Before you die or, whatever else happens. Because we don't know what's going to happen. We just know it's going to get worse. It's not going to get better. It's only going to get worse. As humanity continues to degrade throughout the centuries and the generations that are coming in the future. Right? It's not going to get better, right? You look at us now, right? Just look at us now. Everybody's talking about feelings over, feelings over facts now, right? It's supposed to be facts over feeling. You feel this way because of this way, and people are actually listening to this nonsense. You go on these podcasts and these shows, they got whores, harlots, and sex workers, and they're listening to them. They actually giving them airtime, right? So people are listening to who gives two a hill of beans about what a whore or a prostitute has to say? Why is that being aired? So our daughters and our sons can listen to this wickedness. Y'all haven't thought about this? This is the plan. This is the plight of Hasatan right before your face to get you trapped, to make sure that you go into the lake of fire right along with him. We got to smarten up, Israel. Brother Daniel, you want to take us out?
Oh, yeah, let's do it, man. So Israel, just wanted to bring a word to you, but we're going to let you get back. I think we said enough. Let you get back to your meditation, man. Talk to the Most High. However you celebrate this feast day, let's always remember, this is our birthright. So with that being said, we're going to bid you a hearty Shabbat New Moon.
And stay strong, Israel. Stay strong.
All right.